was a delivery that made him laugh for real. We're out there. It used to be banger after banger, but now it's burger after burger after burger.
Your workload has decreased quite dramatically this year. Does it freshen you up?
My body has never felt better. I started working with a new coach, but it's not just the outside, how I look, which is awesome, by the way. It's the inside.
So when Brock Lesnar walks out, what did you think?
I just thought, there's Brock. There he is.
I'm here with WWE superstar Drew McIntyre. Thank you so much for joining me on the West Australian newspaper's Path to Perth.
Oh, thank you for chatting with me. This is not one I have to wake up early for. This morning, I was getting dragged out of bed nice and early to talk about our weekend shows for SmackDown, but the time difference here, this is 6 p.m. This is perfect for me.
It's been an incredible week, though. Like, the buzz around wrestling at the moment is quite remarkable. When you look at just the week that's been, the launch of the Unreal documentary, which is phenomenal. John Cena turns back. Both men's titles change. Seth fooled us. Brock Lesnar returns. The matches at SummerSlam, including your own, were fantastic. Like, what's the feeling like in the locker room?
Positivity and just wondering, what comes next. I think for some of the younger talent, when I say younger, I mean newer talent, because there's some guys that are actually my age and have been around for 20 years. But for the newer talent, I think they're kind of getting used to things being so, amazing and wrestling being so popular all across the world. For me, I've been around since '07 when I was 21 years old, and I've watched the evolution from then, where the company was at, which I believed it couldn't possibly get any bigger. And just through the years, the WWE Network into WWE Network on Peacock, and lots of people being wrestling fans, etc., and to inevitably being on Netflix all across the world. $billion deals cut left and right. Just one cut today in America. The $1.6 billion deal to show the PLEs on ESPN, just strictly in America. Like Nick, the $1 billion man can strikes again, and just walking down the street is impossible these days. Before it was, you're Drew from WWE, or you're massive, you literally have fallen out of Game of Thrones, what do? It's now, you're Drew McIntyre from WWE. We love it, and that's everywhere we travel across the world. They know who we are.
The Unreal documentary showed so much of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I just loved it. And the detail that goes into the matches was fascinating, and the ability of now to make sure that no one really knows what's going on and behind the scenes and keeping things secret. So when Brock Lesnar walks out, what did you think?
I just thought, there's Brock. There he is. But it's like anything crazy. I just, saw him come out. What night was that? Night 2. I had wrestled night 1 of SummerSlam on the Saturday, the first 2 days SummerSlam ever. Very successful, 113,000 people over 2 days. And I'd finished my last appearance. I got in a plane. I believe I just arrived home in Nashville area here, where I saw it. And I went, oh, there he is. Brock is back. And he's the beast. He causes a lot of headlines. And most importantly, he's also the guy I beat in the main event of WrestleMania for my first WWE Championship in 5 minutes.
It is amazing how they're able to just keep these things under wraps now, and it makes it so much better for the fans. And it'll be great for the fans when you're here in October. Crown Jewel, Raw, and SmackDown on October 10, 11, and 13 at RAC Arena. There are tickets available at Ticketek. Right now, from a champ versus champ perspective, which we'll have, it's Cody versus Seth. But the depth of the talent at the moment, there's so many guys who have won titles, and I could go on anywhere one at the moment, and you feel like you're going to have an amazing story. How good is it to have that sort of depth available at the moment?
It's unreal to look across all the rosters, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, just looking at the future and just seeing such incredible depth, so many characters that are resonating with so many people. Now the way WWE is, we're treated like we are on 52 weeks a year. Like any other television show, we're able to build these deep layered characters, deep layered storylines, and so many have started connecting. There was a time a few years ago where I would have like 4 or 5 segments when I was WWE champion, and it'd be like myself and 2 other people would be carrying the show, and that's kind of the way things were. And now we have so many different people that have connected with our audience that I don't have to be on every PLE. Roman, Cody, like all of our top superstars, Seth, don't have to be on every big show. We can space it out so it's special, and our top guys have matches. People can come to the show, they don't know who they're going to get. They're going to get someone they're excited to see, because everybody means something. If you've made it onto Raw or SmackDown specifically, then you've really made it to the dance. You belong on the show. And if you don't start resonating, or if you don't do your job well, we're going to kick you right back off, because somebody else is hungry, ready to take your spot.
your workload has decreased quite dramatically this year compared to, as you say, the amount of work you've had to do in the past. Does it freshen you up? Does it allow you to be more creative? And does it allow your body to handle things better?
1000%. I loved my journey. I've been wrestling since I was 15. I wrestled every weekend nonstop. When I came to America, I came straight from university. I got my degree in criminology, was wrestling every weekend, every summer holiday. That was my job since I was a kid, right into WWE. And I was nonstop 3, 4 days a week for 16, 17 years straight. So I got my fill. I loved it. But this schedule now, being a little bit later in my career, is perfect for me. Maybe some of the newer guys could do with a little more reps. We'll still get NXT. They can go down there, get the reps in there. But my body has never felt better. I started working with a new coach during my time off. Recently, I was out for 5 weeks, not through injury, for the first time in my career, my first ever break that was planned, where I was able to step back, look at myself objectively and say, where can I improve? I was like, well, you're in good shape, Drew. Possibly one of the best, bodies in WWE, but I think you could be better. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Compare yourself to yourself. And maybe we start a diet for the first time ever. I've never followed a diet in my entire life. I've got high metabolism, eating what I've wanted. So I dialed it in, got the coach, started the diet. And if you want to check out my Instagram or Twitter, I literally just posted, a little updated picture of how I'm currently looking on the outside. But it's not just the outside, how I look, which is awesome, by the way. It's the inside. Like, I've not felt this good since I was about 25. Like, just eating right, taking down the inflammation, all the wear and tear on my body, working on mobility. My hips are freeing up. I'm throwing head kicks the height of Big Show and Almost right now, which again I've not done since I was 25 years old. And I'm excited the clock started turning back, because it's about time Drew McIntyre got a real title reign. Because if y'all remember, during the pandemic, I was WWE champion for over 300 days in front of exactly nobody. When I got my title at WrestleMania, I was screwed out of it. So I'm ready for that proper title reign. I've never been in better shape inside and out, and I'm ready for it, and I'm eyeing up Cody Rhodes.
You do look in phenomenal condition. Like the way when you come to the ring, like it's just like the Warrior. Like, you do look amazing. How important is that look from not just your body, but what you're wearing, everything else, to bring everything out?
Yeah, I mean, everything matters. Every little movement matters. Every little piece of your outfit matters to sell that character. Thankfully, the Warrior is me. It's part of my journey, all the ups and downs, everything I've been through. I've created this Warrior that I've been knocked down. I've had to keep picking myself up, and it's hardened me from the, young, fresh-faced boy when I first showed up in WWE to the, hard-faced man that I am today. So it's very easy not to play. Like, so a lot of people play the character. I am the character. When I walk out there and I've got my gear on, like I'm coming out of medieval times and the fire is going off behind me. Sometimes I've got a sword, sometimes I don't. People can feel like, oh, right, this guy's ready to kick some arse. But at the same time, when I'm not in game mode and I've got the microphone, my real life personality can come out a bit now. I'm from the UK, much like people in Australia. We've got silly senses of humor. People get offended so easy in America. I run my mouth nonstop, and everyone over here is like, oh my God, like, it's so offensive. And then the way I talk to my friends, they're like, are you guys actually friends? The way you talk to each other? I'm like, shut up, mate. Like, get a grip of yourself. So these days, yeah, like, people in Australia are certainly resonating with my personality, specifically online. I'm tearing people apart on Twitter because we're exactly the same. So we love a drink and we love tearing people to pieces verbally.
Yeah, we call it sledging over here. You guys call it banter or promos. But like, I do want to take you back to one. I thought the smelly hole comment the other day was hilarious. But let's go back to burger after burger after burger with Sheamus last year. That was the most one of the highlights of last year, I thought, from a promo perspective. Take me back to coming up with that idea.
I mean, Sheamus and I are close, and I think he acknowledged that, he'd maybe let himself go a little bit. We can say that. And I had a couple of ideas. Sometimes I just hit him with stuff. I hit a lot of guys with stuff to get their genuine reaction, but he's my buddy. Maybe a bit sensitive about it. So I come up with a couple of ideas I wanted to throw at him, and he actually got the line burger after burger. So to be fair, it was his line. Again, he's all about the banter. He's all about the laugh. He could recognize I need to lose some weight. So I had a good line, and then he came up with a great line, but he didn't know how I was going to deliver the line. So it was the delivery that made him laugh for real. We're out there. It used to be banger after banger, but now it's just looking at him up and down, burger after burger after burger. And to be fair, what did he do? Like, he recognized where he was at. He worked hard. He knocked it right off, got in the best shape of his career. And some of our other superstars, if you look up and down the rosters, could take a tip from Sheamus so that he recognized, okay, I've let myself go a bit, got himself in shape. No, I've said it recently. People get so offended. I can almost feel the tension in the air, but thankfully I don't care. Just beat me up if you got a problem with me. Like I said, 85% of the roster don't look like wrestlers. I have a lot of friends that tune into Netflix for the first time. Like, hey, we got to watch the wrestler. I used to watch it growing up. And they're like, wait a minute, I could beat up this guy. My kid could probably beat up this guy. So some of our roster ability to dial it in, maybe start looking like athletes. And I'm not saying you all have to look like Drew McIntyre because you're not gonna, but at least think of something that makes you stand out. So when someone tunes in, they don't go, hmm, never mind. They turn it right back off. So you got to grab people's attention right away. You got to have something that makes you stand out. And you could be 5'8" and just have something about you that makes you stand out. Look at Rey Mysterio, he's a superhero. He's about 5 foot tall. You got to find your thing that makes you stand out. And I give all this advice away for free in these interviews because no one, like all the new guys, listen to Twitter and it tells them how good they are. Though I must be good. Twitter's telling me I'm good, even though I'm not really on the show very often. All these vets here to ask, they don't ask any advice, and I give it out for free in all these interviews, and they just don't bloody listen, do they?
One guy who you teamed up with on the weekend, Logan Paul, looks like a wrestler and certainly acts like a wrestler. You were standing underneath him when you did that ridiculous frog splash off the post. I can't believe how high that was when you consider how tall you are and as tall as he is, and it was above your head by about half a metre, it felt like, when he took off, and I reckon it was about 4 metres in the air when he took off. So how crazy are some of the things you guys are prepared to do? And do you look back sometimes on TV and think, I'm actually insane?
I look back at things I wish I could take back that perhaps, caused some trauma to the body that at the time I thought people were going to remember it forever, and they don't. Our product's just so fast moving. Like as I mentioned a couple of times, it's 52 weeks. There's no off season. There's no reruns. They're on to the next. And the only person that remembers certain things is you and your body. You got to be strategic where you take those huge falls. Like I fell off the Hell in the Cell one time against Randy Orton in 2020 during the pandemic. We just had the screens there, and I've never felt anything like it in my life. It was legitimately 20 feet high, the cage. Where I was standing was halfway up. There was a platform, like a little bit sticking out the cage where Andy and I were, which was legitimately 10 feet up. I don't love heights as it is. There's not the adrenaline you have when there's live fans there. So I glance back right before I fall at the table. I'm 6'7" and my boots on, so I'm more or less close to 17 feet in the air, looking with my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I made a terrible mistake, but don't worry, that table's going to break my fall down there. And I fell, and I legitimately thought I broke my back and my neck, and I bit through the middle of my tongue where I looked like I had a snake's tongue. I was spitting out blood left and right. So yeah, if I could take that one back, because in hindsight, they don't really replay much from that era, which sucks because that was me finishing my story at WrestleMania. So I never got the Cody, pageantry, etc. The Royal Rumble, I had my moment when right to Mania, the world shut down. It was up to me to, hold the championship and lead by example. And I had a couple of falls during that time. If I could take back, I probably would. But Logan's one spectacular, got millions and millions of views, and he's crazy. And Jelly Roll, to be fair, he took that splash, and I don't know if I'd be happy with anybody jumping up that high in the air and crashing down on top of me, because it looked like it was so painful that I was lying, and probably the camera cut to me, I believe, right after. I was laughing my head off. It was my version of, oh my God, I laugh when I see things horrific as opposed to scream.
You were fantastic here in the Elimination Chamber last year when you're over, and you'll be back, as we said, here for Raw, SmackDown and Crown Jewel in Perth on October 10, 11 and 13. Sportsnet Holidays have travel options, including tickets, hotels and a trip to Rottnest Island. So you go to sportsnetholidays.com, or if you just want tickets, you can go to ticketek.com. You won't be doing a hell of a lot of touring around, I reckon. Scotland's World Cup qualification matches are on while you're here for the soccer. They're going to be on at midnight and 2:45 a.m. Perth time against Greece and Belarus. What sort of condition are you going to be in having to get up and watch those things?
I mean, if history's anything to go by, I'm going to be sad. So I'll need to get some wins so that Scotland's get something to smile about. But we have so many freaking good players. I was so, positive about the Euros in our past few games, and this never seems to go right for us. But I'm hoping things come together. Like McTominay's over there in Italy, just absolutely dominating, the MVP of the whole Serie A. So I really hope the lads can get it together and just give us something to smile about. So I won the Elimination Chamber last time we're in Perth. Perth's a good luck charm for me. Got my world title match at WrestleMania, which I won. We need to talk about the rest. So I'm excited to come back to Perth, spend some time there. I never got to see the sites the way I wanted to see them last time. So I was very busy, so I'm going to make sure I see the sites while I'm there as well. And yeah, Scotland, come on, lads. You do it, I'll do it. We'll all be happy.
Well, we're at Australia's qualification match, and we won through here at Perth a couple of months back, so I'm sure you'll be okay. Look, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you in Perth for Crown Jewel. Thank you very much for your time, Drew McIntyre.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. ACP was good. Let's get to work.